I'm good to go.
Okay, well there you go. I think yeah, everything's great. We've survived Christmas, so we're here and it's all good.
Perfect. I
It's
like that.
wonderful to meet you. Thank you for taking a minute out.
Absolutely.
So let's begin this conversation before we get into
Mhm.
your work and
Yeah,
before we
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of go in our direction here. I want to know what kind of ripples did surviving COVID create for you professionally that you're still seeing right now?
So I had two I would say it's not exactly 50-50, but it's close to 50-50. In my professional field, there were some people who were very scared and they were at home and they were compensating with food and they really gained a lot of weight in terms of gained a lot of weight and they gained the inflammation and they became more vulnerable. And I have a second part of the people who were really taking this moment off work, trying to take better care of their health. And they were in a better metrics of reduced inflammation. I'm not touching anxiety and being stressed,
Yeah.
but they were not as much stressed at work. They were taking care of their health. So I would say I have both good and not very good results there.
So let's get into exactly what you do on a daily basis here in 2024.
Mhm.
And to do that, so we can understand exactly what you do, I'm going to put you in front of a bunch of grade schoolers, third graders. It's career day. One of the kids is curious and is like, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" How do you answer that
Mhm.
child?
So I'm an integrative health consultant. And with this being said, I mostly work with women executives.
Yeah.
And they are the ones who, by age 40, you already achieve your executive level careers and you are trying to be at your best. This is your prime time at work. With that, you by age 40, usually, which is not usually now, have a family and you're very much tired and stressed and have a big scope at work. You come home, you have to attend to your family, you have to attend to your husband. And this balancing between stressful work, coming home, not bringing it home is a part of my job. Most of the women at that age, they have hormonal disbalances and they are trying to cope between being very stressed and unhealthy and trying to fix it. um, Achieving their weight goals is one of my parts. Achieving their healthy balance, trying to see what's happening at night, because at night, with that much stress and adrenaline kicking in the evening, they don't sleep. Seeing how is the process of going healthier to sleep, going healthier to work. What do you eat in the morning so you don't drain your energy at 1 p.m.? Those are all of the complaints that I see around what's happening with women executives trying entering the executive level positions and at the same time perimenopause.
So my question to you is, you're dealing with people that are executives that are probably already strong-willed, very set in their ways. They've been doing it for a long time. How do you come in and help them acquire new habits and new ways of being healthier? What's kind of the main approach? What's one of the top few things that you have to really address with a lot of your clients?
First of all, usually it happens with women. That's why I mostly do women, even though I like to work with men. They are putting themselves last. They, everything, work, family, everything comes first. And then if they don't attend to that, they feel guilty. That's why. So by seeing this kind of pattern and path, they don't have enough time for them. We're trying to find this time. And we are trying to see two main things that I teach in my groups and in my one-on-ones is intuitive eating and food behavior. Some of the women come and they say, I don't like this idea of intermittent fasting, let's say, right? I wake up in the morning and I'm not hungry. Here we go. You're already doing it because you go to bed at a certain hour, you finish your food at a certain hour, and if the body is not hungry in the morning, why do you need to eat?
Yeah.
Right? So that's your intermittent fasting. You're already doing it, and it's how your body works. I have a lot of women who can't wake up and not to have breakfast because their morning is not productive. They are not fueling themselves. So this is a different story. So I see what is the pattern. Another example is I can't fall asleep because my phone is next to me all the time. It's blinking. I'm waiting for an order from a big customer. We have to finish the month. So that's another problem. I wake up in the middle of the night. I look at the phone. What are you looking? What are you looking for? I need to see time. Flashlight, blue light in the face. You're done for the night.
Yeah.
So those kind of things where I come with my expertise, I see immediately what is happening. Another big thing that I teach is you're coming to a birthday party and everybody is eating, everybody is exciting. We came to the stage of our development of our society. Everything what's called social is with the food.
Yeah.
That's why we eat not because we're hungry, coming back to intuitive eating. We eat because we feel like that's a part of why I came here. This being said, if you're on a constant dieting path, oh, I'm on a diet, I'm not gonna eat this, I'm not gonna eat that, then restrictive brain is not a healthy brain.
Yeah.
Our brain doesn't like restrictions. You came to the birthday party, you know, a piece of cake, a glass of wine, please enjoy it. We can't take long on the diet and restriction path because it will finish somewhere. The brain is going to go, "Ah, I've been surviving for so long. Let me have this big of the cake, 5 glasses of wine. Ah, I feel so good and guilty next day."
Yeah. 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 So let me ask you this. When you were in the third grade, I'm going to take you back to that career day. What did you want to be when you grew up? Was this your vision of what you wanted to be for a career?
I always wanted to be a teacher.
Okay.
I was afraid of my thinking to be a doctor because I was always afraid of blood. But you see how it came out? I am almost a teacher and I'm almost a doctor.
So, what were the foundational seeds that were planted in you? Take me back to where you were born and raised, and what were some of these seeds for health and medicine and teaching? How were those planted and harvested into who you are today?
So it's a very interesting question because I was born in the Soviet Union,
Yeah.
and where I was born, you know, intelligence, the people surrounded, who you're surrounded with, where my parents were teachers. I wanted to be a teacher, and the next street were doctors, and we're from a big Jewish family. So everybody had some kind of accountants, teachers. My parents are both musicians, music teachers. So I always wanted to do something different. And yet I was playing a piano, and I said, you know, I want to teach. I really like the stage part of it. But my mom was always saying, ah, if you wouldn't be afraid of, you know, the blood and the blood test and everything, it would have been much better. So I was. And then I did become a teacher, and I was teaching elementary school. And then we moved to the US. And then I decided that I wanted to study again.
Yeah.
And I got my second bachelor in business. And I was working for, after the graduation in the US, I was working for big companies, Apple, Cisco, VeriSign. I was a localization project manager because I spoke a few languages.
Yeah.
And then after that, I had my own business. But I always wanted to come back to that medical path, and I always wanted to study. And I decided that that's it with high tech. I wanted to study what I wanted to study, and I did study Institute of Integrative Health, and I became an integrative health consultant. And I chose to work with women because I was entering that age 40 plus, and
Yeah.
I was having all of those symptoms they have, and was very fascinating to me. I have a migraine with aura, where the hormone replacement therapy is very difficult. You have to have something which is closer to bioidentical hormones, which are not the strongest ones, and you have to be very gentle with the what you're choosing and how you go with that. So I went that path with naturopathic doctors studying at the same time. And at the end, I completed a few researches and studies. And in those studies, I understood that body mass index equals inflammation. So the bigger the body, the more difficult it is in the perimenopause when the hormones are not working the way they used to. By reducing inflammation, BMI and waistline is also a big part of it. A lot of those symptoms, they quiet down. They're becoming much easier. Not only you are lighter and you can walk more, work more, not only the hot flashes are really associated with that inflammation going on in the body, and the body doesn't need to work on extensive batteries anymore. It's much easier to get to a better body mass index and not to have all of those perimenopausal symptoms than having a bigger body mass index and having hormone replacement therapy or taking pills.
Yeah.
So I really studied it deeply and I did connect all of the dots here. And that's why I came to a program where a lot of women come to me saying, hey, I have almost diabetes type 2. I have high cholesterol. I do take HRT, but nothing happens. I can't go outside and just ride a bike for 20 minutes. I'm just too heavy. I feel tired. So all of those little things, they are little steps towards one big goal, getting to your healthy weight goals, getting to your reduced inflammation. And then the body is tuned. One of my clients called it, my body is tuned. It's really working properly. And that's what I'm doing.
So was it always kind of a dream of yours to come to America? How did that happen?
Um, as a Jewish family in the Soviet Union, we actually had the people who are not likely to have you in their country.
Yeah.
And all of this labeling, all of those things. And then we lived about 900 kilometers next to Chernobyl. That was another piece that needed to be addressed. So my parents were very worried what's going to happen. And we lost one of the family members, 96 and a half, 6 months after Chernobyl happened. It was
Yeah.
really scary because nobody was talking about that.
Yeah.
And one of our relatives already worked for Radio Station Freedom, which was based in the United States, a Russian-speaking radio station. So he called us and he was really clear what's going to happen to us. We're all going to die, almost like Chernobyl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Almost like COVID, I meant. And it made my parents think that we really need to move and start from scratch.
Yeah.
And we did.
What was that transition like coming to America? Was it refreshing? Was it a reset? Was it good?
I did it two times. First, I
Okay.
got married, and first we moved with my parents to Munich, Germany.
Okay.
This is where the part of the family was already.
Yeah.
And we started to transition, so we started to speak language and everything. And I connected with my friend, actually a boyfriend, and we got married and we moved to the US. So
Okay.
I'm the only daughter. My parents live in Munich, and I got married and moved to the US. So
Okay.
I moved once, I moved twice.
Okay. So, doing all of this moving and career changing and where you're at, you have to give a lot. Who's that hero for you? Who's that bedrock that's allowed you to be as good as you've been in your capacity as a professional?
Um, I think a lot of things are coming to mind from Robert Sapolsky book. He is really good about, the you don't have a you are all predisposition to who you are. I was always a good student. I always wanted to study. I always wanted to learn. Um, First, I was my parents are musicians. You also have to go to the music school. My parents are teachers. You always you go to the university and become a teacher. And then when we came to Munich, here's the freedom part where you can become what you want. But I didn't have time. I didn't have enough time to develop in Germany. I came to the US and then I went to the university and then next 10 years happened and I said, hold on 1 second, I can become somebody who will help women. And this is where it started. So I thought that me being interested in self-development, helping people, being a teacher, those are three core components that I use to become something else. So every 10 years, I'm trying to change a career and implement all of the knowledge in one big pictures. And I'm really happy where I am. I do teach, I do help. I really feel like it's very impactful. And yeah, a lot of those aspects.
So it's interesting you've picked an avenue that you're living through to help other women get through themselves. And as somebody that's helping them, you're kind of the expert, so to speak. But you will learn from your patients, undoubtedly.
Absolutely.
What have
Yes.
you ultimately learned from your patients on this journey of helping them? What has been the unexpected transfer of knowledge that you've gotten from them?
First of all, I learned that even though we have the same body, the same kind of two eyes, one mouth, we're all so different.
Yeah.
Motivation. Everybody is from a different kind of upbringing, from different kind of fields, from different kind of family setups. We all have different motivations. The third thing I am really enjoying is listening to one person because they can tell you the entire story in one go. Just let them talk to you, let them express themselves, and then the answers come instantaneously. They're just there. You just listen to one person.
So let me ask you this. What is it that motivates you to get up every day to do this work? It's heavy stuff because you're helping people and you really have to divulge into their worlds, but you have to evolve as a human being. What is that collective energy every day for you to do the good work and to also take care of yourself?
I meet with women when they're at different stages. A lot of times it's vulnerability, and they're really happy to share. You're almost like a shrink, going and hearing those things that are happening. But the reward from that is I always ask at the end of the sessions, what did you learn today? What are you walking out with? And when I hear that there is something motivates them, we're moving from step zero to step one, that's very rewarding. At the end of the day, when we finish the whole program and somebody says, did you just see my blood test number? They're just normal all of a sudden. Did you see that cholesterol drop? I sleep through the night. All of those things, they don't come easy. They don't come just like tomorrow, but they do come. And that's the most rewarding, most motivating. Sometimes I wake up 5 a.m. in the morning because somebody is waiting for me. And it's almost like family. I have family around me. Those women, they really need me, and I feel like they're my family. That's really motivating for me.
So let me ask you this. If you had a dream tonight, ran into a much younger version of you, let's say the first time you you decided to move and before you came to America, and you could give that young version of you a piece of advice based on this life you've lived, the wisdom you've gained, what advice would you give your younger self?
Try to learn about yourself as much as possible. Try to see where you would be of a better interest and better use, and take care of yourself first. As strange as it sounds, if you're not healthy, you're not giving anything to anybody. And as most of my women say, a healthy leader makes healthy decisions.
Yeah, for sure. What has been one of your favorite client success stories? And when you look at your career and how you've developed and grown, what's been the one case that may have been one of the more difficult ones, but you grew the most, or it was one of the more satisfying results?
So I had a client with GLP-1. This is the Zempic drug. And the stories are always good because you're not hungry.
Yeah.
And at the end of her program, I was not there. She did it obviously with the doctor. A year passed. She had dramatic results. She really achieved the goals. She was really excited and ready to go. And she came to me 1 year after when she gained exactly the same weight plus another 7%. And the question was, I did all I could, and I just couldn't maintain the weight. So what happens with Ozempic is the hormone which is responsible for hunger is turned off. You don't feel hungry, you don't eat, you don't feel like it's an important part anymore. And the brain is, maybe social eating, maybe just having dinner, maybe, everybody is different. So when the drug stops, usually it's after a year, drug stops, women at the age 40, 50, 50 to 60, again, hormonal disbalance, they are hungrier when the drug is stopped because of the hormones. So you all of a sudden you are so hungry and you try to eat because in the first place you didn't understand how intuitive eating works. You don't eat for fuel. You eat because you're bored, because you're emotional, because you're stressed, because the basic formula is we have to eat somehow, right?
Mhm.
And when she came to me 1 year after, she said, I just don't understand. She blamed hormones for that. I agree, there is a part of it. But when you don't know how much is too much, how much is too little, how much do you eat to maintain that weight, you don't understand what to do.
Yeah.
So it took us another 4 months, a little bit more than the usual time, to learn all of those steps. And when she finally understood how this intuitive eating and food behavior works, she was on the right path to lose weight. In the first month, we lost about 10 pounds, and then another 6 and another 8. So we dropped about three and a half dress sizes.
Wow.
So if one dress size is 8 pounds, so you can calculate how much it is. And she is able to maintain the weight, which is another very important part. You're coming to a program, you're trying to lose the inflammation and rebalance the hormones a little bit with the idea that it's gonna be life lasting. It's gonna be forever, right? You know how to eat. You come to a birthday party, you know how to eat sweets. By the way, in my program, I also teach how to eat sweets. That's
Excellent.
another learning process. So this is a great achievement, and it's not easy. It wasn't easy for her. It wasn't easy for me because you already done this part with the magic pill. I call it the magic pill. And you're coming back saying, what did just happen? I don't know what to do anymore. My job is to remotivate you again to do a little bit more work.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So, of all of these things that you've done in your life, between moving to America, all these career shifts, being successful as a consultant now, what are you ultimately the proudest of?
I'm proud of where I am.
Yeah.
I'm proud of my daughter who is 23, lives in New York by herself, really doing wonderful. I am really proud of my family where we have an amazing relationship. We share moments every day together. We celebrate holidays. We have an amazing community around us. Um, we Today is the second day of Hanukkah. We celebrate Jewish holidays with non-Jewish friends, and we celebrate Christmas with being all together. It's fascinating where we became. It's a very happy moment of mine being in the country for 21 years to build a community, to have a happy family, um, healthy family. Um, and the career is just in the right path. I'm really happy for that.
So, at the end of the day, everyone has a perception of you family, friends, clients, everyone that knows you, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I wanted to say that I'm a scholar. I wanted to say that I'm a teacher. I wanted to say that I am a leader of something which is visible in a longer term. You can't see the results right away, and this community building and giving is a big part of it too.
So, at the end of the day, you're helping women get through situations that men don't understand. What advice would you give to the men that are in the women's lives that would help them on something that men will never understand?
Um, I'm assuming that you get married and you really expect a loving husband. And those are the core beginnings. And then, if you have a loving husband, having a conversation, what happens to your body and what happens to your brain is crucial. Because if the guy, your husband or partner, doesn't know what's happening, it's, we call it a cognitive bias. He expects you to behave a certain way, but because of those hormones, you're all of a sudden stressed and you can't take it anymore. If he knew, he would have been acting differently. So, having an open conversation, learning what's the perimenopausal stage, what to expect, how the brain works, sometimes sitting and having a healthy discussion, not heated up, obviously, it's very important because it's easy to move from family to family. Divorce rates are so high. And this is a very vulnerable stage of for women 40 plus and menopausal too, because not only you sometimes can't complete the sentence because of the brain fog, and the guys are not only sitting in your at work joining the same Zoom. They don't know what's happening
Yeah,
because they're not educated.
yeah.
And your own husband doesn't know what's going on. And because it's not popular, it's difficult. There's Hollywood is all about young women having forever marriages, never having any problems whatsoever. That's popular. Having a difficult conversation, explaining what's going on in the bedroom, including it's difficult,
Yeah.
but I would suggest just to go for it. And it's a proof that you have a solid rock family and you have a loving husband. Obviously, you're a loving wife.
Yeah.
That's very important. That conversation is very important.
So if anyone out there is inspired, they want to move forward, they want to reach out for a consultation to hire you, any of the good business, where's the best place for them to go?
So, first of all, you can go to my website. It's called It's Time to Pause. It doesn't have an apostrophe, and two is with number two. It's time, number two, pause.com. Here's you gonna learn about me. I have a very enriching video and a little bit of feedback about me. And the best way is to have a free consultation. Just book the Calendly or simply email me saying, hey, I just wanted to know this, that, and that. We'll just start from there. We'll hop on a Zoom call. We're going to see where you are, and I'll be very happy to help.
Wonderful. What a great story. Thank you so much for taking time out today. I really appreciate it. Have a wonderful Hanukkah. Have a great 2025. I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. Same here.
Thank you. Take care.